Welcome to Comically Comics, your one-stop listen to all things comics. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, video games, and more. I must forewarn you, though, we are a spoilercast, and what that means is we consider all properties, past, future, and present, to be valid, and we will spoil the hell out of them. I'm your host, Michael, along with my two co-hosts, Richard and Jeremy, and with all that being said, let's get started. All right, we are back. It is January 12th, and we've got the new same old co-host. Jeremy's back.
Yay!
Woo! We're going off of your response here. Like, what? I thought you missed us. We missed you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you lying son of a bitch. All right.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So over the break, Marvel put out this little ditty called "What If" Season 3. Okay. Richard shaking his head.
Just a little ditty about Jack and Diane. Like,
8 episodes long, relatively 30 minutes an episode. Y'all know What If. Come on, let's be real. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to spoil it, and we are going to review the entire season and let y'all know our thoughts about it. So let's go ahead and let's get the whelmings out of the way like usual. Jeremy, what is your whelming of this season?
I am just whelmed. I'm a little disappointed in it because I like the first season. I really enjoyed. Second season was okay. It was good. It was decent. And then this one just kind of started going downhill for me. I feel like what's his face that wrote the God of Thunder?
Taika Waititi.
Yeah. Got a hold of this and tried to put too much humor into it and just screwed it over.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think they just, like I said, the last episode and a half I was pleasantly whelmed with, but the other ones you can just move them on down the line.
Well, all right then.
Yeah.
Richard, what are your thoughts?
For the whole season, I'll say I was whelmed. There was a few episodes. There's one that, in my opinion, is a pretty great episode. The rest are all kind of mediocre, and then there's some that I'm just like, what the fuck? What if, like, nobody asked for this is what it is? Like, what if y'all never made this episode? Can I live in that parallel universe?
Nice. Yes, you can, because my reaction, my whelming for this is they should have changed the name of this to Why the Fuck? Because a lot of the times I was asking myself as I was watching these episodes, why the fuck are we doing this? Why the fuck am I watching this? Why the fuck is any of this going on? I'm so utterly whelmed with this. Completely, utterly whelmed. I fucking hate it. I really absolutely hate it. And there are 2 episodes for me that I really, really enjoyed and really, really liked. But kind of like what Jeremy was saying, like the first season came out, I really liked that. I liked how they did it. I like how they tied it there at the end. It kind of felt like phase 1. With, like you had these each individual stories, and at the end you got the Avengers, and it was like, oh, cool. All right, awesome. And then phase 2 was kind of like, okay, kind of cool. Sure. And then, season 3 is kind of like, this newest phase, the whatever, the time saga, the multiverse saga.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, why the fuck? So, yeah, no, I'm not happy with this at all. Not happy, Bob. Not happy. All right, let's jump into why we may not be happy with some of these, why we are happy with them. Starting off with episode 1, What If the Hulk Fought the Mech Avengers? So in this episode, Banner tries to cure himself, but ends up creating a monster. Sam Wilson and the Avengers must suit up to take on a kaiju Hulk. So one of my things was like the very first, Did we just get kaiju gremlins? Because that's what it felt like. It felt like kaiju gremlins.
Right? Yeah. When they start popping out of his back, I was like, is he a fucking gremlin? Did someone get him wet?
Exactly. Yes. This giant monster that Banner has created, he's walking the city. I mean, it's huge. Absolutely huge. We're talking Godzilla monster. And then all of a sudden he just stops. And it's like he had to fart. And then all these little things just started popping out of him. And they were like miniature little versions of like Kaiju Hulk.
Yeah.
And that's what we're referring to. There was no water. There was no nothing. He just decided to multiply himself and did it right there in the city. It was grotesque. And I don't know what they were thinking. Like, why the fuck?
Yeah. Really, to me, like in this one, I was just waiting for Rita to throw her spear down on the earth. So I really felt like it was just a Power Rangers episode.
Oh yeah, it was Power Rangers, Zordon, all the like Super Sentai stuff. Yeah, like that is exactly what this was.
Yeah, and like the whole time I was watching this, I was like, haven't we done this whole plot line before? Like with like it was Power Rangers, and then I kept trying to think of the other movie with kaijus.
Big Bad Beetleborgs?
Oh, man, that takes me back.
But it was the one.
I just had like non-flag. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I just had like non-flag.
No, you're
good. Anyway, sorry.
But it was the one where, like I said, I can't remember the name. It was like with kaijus and where they were in the mechs or whatever.
Oh, are you talking about Pacific Rim?
Pacific Rim.
Yeah. Well, that's also aping off of Neon Genesis Evangelion anime, stuff like that, because that's made from Guillermo del Toro. He was a big like weeb back in the day, so he liked stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. My comment was Go Mighty Avengers.
Yeah.
Like y'all are missing the whole, like, to me there's a so low-key, I don't know if we're whelming our for each episode, but I was pleasantly whelmed with this, and the only reason I'm giving it is because I'm a sucker for mecha animes and like I love Power Rangers and shit like that, like, so I kind of enjoyed this one, but I mean, I'm not saying it's great, but there's a huge fucking plot hole here. And it annoyed me because I'm like, Tony made the Hulkbuster to fight the Hulk because Tony doesn't have any fucking powers. When you have a whole fleet of people who have fucking powers, they don't need a fucking mech to fight the Hulk or Mega Hulk or whatever the fuck he's called.
Well, so the cast that all had the mech suits. You had Sam Wilson, Captain America, who
is just a
probably
guy.
does not have powers. Monica Rambeau, who is this before the Hex? Like, is this just when she's just a civilian?
Oh, okay.
Like,
well, I assumed it was her with the power.
Okay. So that would make sense because there is an Oscar Isaac or Mark Spector or whatever.
Moon Knight. Yeah.
Moon Knight, this part of this.
You want me to list? I have a list of all the people. You want me to just list them off real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of them off the hat.
We have Captain America, Sam Wilson. We have Monica Rambeau. We have Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier. We have Red Guardian. We have Shang-Chi. We have Moon Knight. And I believe that is it. Nakia, sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this one is. Oh,
interesting that it wasn't a Black Panther.
Yeah, I guess they're still not wanting to do, because there was a shot of in the last episode of Star-Lord T'Challa, but he didn't actually show up in that episode, and I guess they're maybe not wanting to do it since Chadwick Boseman can't voice it or whatever. I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah,
because did they do like all the? I'm assuming they did all original voices for these still.
Some did, some didn't. I can tell you.
Harbor came back for Red Guardian. Simi came back for Shang-Chi. Mackie came back for Captain America.
Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk, as what Michael said. Anthony Mackie is Sam. Monica Rambeau was the actress that played her.
Oh, nice.
I can't pronounce her name, so I'm just not even going to attempt. Sebastian Stan was the Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier. David Harbour was Red Guardian, and Simu Liu was Shang-Chi. Oscar Isaac was Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And Brittany, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her name as well or butcher her name, but she played Nakia, but she was not the actress that played Nakia in Wakanda, Black Panther. I was going to say Wakanda.
Yeah.
Well, she was in Wakanda Forever as well. But anyway,
they got most of them back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not like, I don't know. It's not like they had a bunch of superpowered folks. Like,
I know, but
Moon Knight in his form, I don't think can take on a kaiju.
No, I don't know. Maybe because Khonshu grew like, the size of the fucking pyramids and fought the big giant alligator person and fought in Egypt in his episode, or his show. But also, Shang-Chi literally defeated a giant dweller in the darkness with his rings. So I'm just saying, like, I was just like, they don't need. And I'm surprised Jeremy hasn't even mentioned where's Captain Marvel during all this? She could easily defeat this fucking kaiju Hulk.
Well, yeah, she could be.
As her PR representative, you're not helping her case here at all. Like, what?
I know. I dropped off of that one real bad. Like, I had a major brain fart coming up with that one. So. I'm still trying to come off of Disney time, so it's a struggle.
So as far as whelming for me, this was a meh. This was such a meh burger. Like, I didn't care. I did not care. Why should I care? Why?
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's not anything that you should care about. I think it's just more of like a fun kind of like, oh, look, like you said, go Power Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, that part was kind of cool to me, to just because I enjoyed the Power Rangers too, but I think it was just more of like, why, along the same lines of like, why are we doing this? Because like, it just, I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me, and and then like it was pretty much just, so it was a mix of like having Power Rangers there, and then like Kong versus Godzilla towards the end as well. And like they even, like, I even made a note too, like they even had like, it looked like the slow motion whenever Simba like hits Scar on Lion King. I was like, why are we just stealing every single like other Disney property and throwing it in here?
They did give Hulk, like Banner Hulk, like Godzilla's like gamma fire breath at the end.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was just, I just didn't, I was like, this is not what this is supposed to be. I didn't feel like it was just to go from, like we've been saying, from the beginning of What If to this. It just didn't, I was like, why, where did this just deviate so much?
Yeah. I feel like, to me, I was like, this first episode, I was like, okay, like, it's not a great solid episode, but like, okay, this is a weird what if story.
Yeah.
It's when we start getting into the next two episodes and further that I'm like,
oh yes,
what the fuck are we doing now?
Exactly. So let's roll into episode 2, unless y'all got something else.
No, I'm good.
Episode 2. What if Agatha went to Hollywood? Essentially, Agatha wants the power of Celestial, but needs one more Eternal for it. That's the story. And Howard Stark owns this like Hollywood production style company, and he's doing a movie, and Agatha is the star, but she's using it as a front to be able to get this celestial power. Again, why the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what? Now, don't get me wrong. I think I enjoyed aspects of this episode. I enjoyed like the fight scenes that they had, and I enjoyed the banter that Agatha had. and I enjoy the visuals of her as, spoiler alert, like a celestial at the very end.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like the story itself, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah, this one was definitely like whoever was writing that episode was like just wanting to do like silly old Hollywood schmaltz. Like I don't know. This one was so like a nothing burger. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
who fucking like was this just a filler like idea? Like, okay, we'll use this if we don't have any other ideas. Like that's what it feels like. It was just so dumb.
We've got to complete Agatha Harkness's contract here, so let's what's the Catherine? Let's get Catherine Hahn back on here.
Yeah.
Let's.
Yeah. This one was like I said, the first one I was like, oh, okay, this is a little odd, but I'm okay with it. And then after this one, I was like, all right, I'm done. Like this is stupid. I don't get the point of this. I just was like, I can't even. It took everything in me just to even get through the episode. I just was like, this is so stupid, and yeah, it's very disheartening because I was just like, this. There's so much more that could have been done with it.
Yeah.
Well, they bring the Eternals and the Celestials back, which we haven't seen anything or heard anything from any of them since the movie, however many years ago.
Mhm.
It's like, y'all brought these characters back for this.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't even bring the character. They brought one character back. It was Kingo. It was
Yeah, that's the one that's the one everybody likes.
No, I know, but you were saying like they brought all of them back. I'm like, no, it's just one. It's Kingo.
Yeah,
Like they didn't even show the others. They're mentioned in passing.
Yeah, you're right.
Erisham the
because
judge.
Kingo's the only one that matters.
Erisham the judge got more screen time than fucking Icarus. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah, I just this episode I was whelmed. I did not give a shit really about it. I don't think I was underly whelmed because there were some, like you said, like funny moments with Catherine Hahn. I like Kumail Nanjiani, who plays Kingo.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of him since he like used to do a podcast on like the Nerdist Network. But anyway, but I was just like, what, who is this for? Like, is this just for like the old people who like old timey like Hollywood movies and stuff? Because like they had the Bollywood thing, and my wife kind of likes Bollywood stuff, and I showed her like the scene where Kingo's doing like the Bollywood dance, and she was like, okay, that's a thing. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, it was.
I hated Howard Stark in this, but he played such the 20s like freaking Hollywood producer guy.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm the same. I'm whelmed on this episode, but it was only because of those moments that I thought were either visually attractive or just funny. So
Yep.
Anything else?
No, that's all I got to say for that one.
Yeah, same here.
All right, let's roll into episode 3. And the title really does say it all. What if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier? Now, what they're referring to is stopping the Winter Soldier from killing Howard Stark and his wife. So Tony's parents. That's it. So I like the idea of this one better because I like the idea of what if TV series being a what if one thing changed and something that you knew as far as the MCU. That's what I like about What If when they do things like this. However, I feel like the execution of the story sucked to me. I think it's because I don't like the Red Guardian.
Yeah, well, to me, in this one, it didn't give the answer to the what if. It just
ended it.
It just showed Red Guardian and Winter Soldier going off into the distance. Didn't show, to me, like that had more ramifications towards Tony Stark than it would have like necessarily with the Red Guardian and Winter Soldier. But like, did Tony become like Tony? Did he create Iron Man? Like, what happened there? I mean, to me, that left so many unanswered questions that they're really you didn't answer what if to me.
You're asking the wrong question, Jeremy.
Why did they like?
Oh no, that's no. You're right. You're right. That would be more of a, I don't know, maybe an interesting story, more of a, I don't know. But again, it goes back to just like the Red Guardian silly, and I know that that's like the character that they've made here, and so it's par for what's going on.
The thing that annoys me, so like, yes, I agree with you. Like, I was whelmed with this episode because it does do the core thing of what if one tiny little thing changes,
Yeah.
and then it snowballs into a completely new universe kind of thing. I'm with you there. But like, the Red Guardian is the way he is in the live action movie because he's been locked away in prison for fucking ever. And he's like a big blowhard. Like, that was my kind of like idea of the character. Now they're just making him just a joke no matter what. Like, because this is young Red Guardian before he was locked away in some Russian prison. So I'm just like, what are y'all doing?
It's like they took they saw that he did well in Black Widow, and because he was kind of funny, like, ooh, let's just run with that. Let's not just it's funny, so we're gonna just keep that and not actually go with the same storyline here.
I love David Harbour. I really do. I think he's very funny. I like him as Red Guardian. He was so annoying in this episode. I was just like, shut the fuck up, dude.
I hate what they're doing, what Marvel is doing, it seems like. And I've only got 2 examples, really. So maybe I'm wrong. And if I am, please, y'all let me know. But like this idea we're going to make all of our like big brutes just hilarious, regardless of what their power sets are or anything like that. Like Drax was the comedic relief for Guardians for the most part, which fine. You know, who the fuck cares about Drax, honestly? Who the fuck gave any shit about Drax before Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out? So cool, whatever. But then like, Golden Boy, Golden Space Jesus, what's his name?
Adam Warlock.
Yes, Adam Warlock. Like, there's some solid, like, not that there's a bunch of them, don't get me wrong, but there's some solid Adam Warlock fans out there. And like,
there's there's a ton of Adam Warlock fans.
Yeah. So like, but what I'm saying is like, I don't feel like that's a good representation.
No,
like, all you did was replace Drax.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you did.
Yeah, they made him goofy.
Yeah. And now you've got Red Guardian over here, who's another big brute that you're just like, and don't get me wrong, like he was comedic relief for the Black Widow movie, and I appreciated that for what it was. But like, can we get past this Homer Simpson like stereotype here?
I'm fine with older Alexei that has been locked away and he's just lying to everyone about how like he was such a big deal and all this stuff. But younger ones should have been more serious. But I get that like you can't. I understand why they did it because Bucky is the serious one. So like that's how you usually pair people up. You have the jokey one and the serious one. I forget the terms that they use, but he was too much. He was too much. There's too much of him being just a buffoon, and I was just like, stop, please stop.
Because it was even like whenever he was with the whole fast food thing there, where he was just like hollering at her. I'm like, okay, it just jumped to that scene for one, and like it didn't show any kind of progression to that. He's just like all up in arms about stuff, and I know it's trying to be funny or whatever, and it's just like you're not. It's not hitting. Like that's not right.
Well, that and like they cranked up the goofiness for this episode because like the last 2 there were some silly, but like this one just kept going to the point where at one point they're in like Las Vegas. And like the SWAT team are there and they're doing what they do in like a comedy movie where like the soldiers are coming up and they're going, hut, 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 hut. And I'm just like, what do you do? What is this like a Lethal Weapon, or not Lethal Weapon, what is it? Naked Gun movie? Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
That shit got me.
There was a funny joke that landed for me anyway, and it was when Red Guardian's talking with Bucky, and he's like, "It's very rude to correct my English. They clearly did not program manners into you." I don't know why that shit kind of got me, but
I'm gonna be real with y'all. My first watching this, I fell asleep.
You watched it more than once?
I had to. I fell asleep.
Oh, I got you.
So I guess if it's not like I fell asleep, so it can't be considered that I watched it really more than once. I watched 7 scenes more than once, what I can remember, anyways. Thank God I forgot those other ones.
yeah. The other thing that they do with all these episodes have like some sort of reference to other like iconic movies or media. So like we mentioned Gremlins in the last one. I'm trying to remember if there was one in for the Hollywood one. I can't remember if there was or not. But anyway, this one had a Thelma and Louise one where they're like they drive the car off the cliff. And I'm like, really? Thelma and Louise? Like, what is this, the 90s? Why are we referencing that old movie?
That's funny. Well, last year they had last season they had the whole Die Hard like style Christmas episode and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
The last thing I have for this is just the most atrocious thing that they do, in my opinion, is like, so Red Guardian has a better connection with Bucky than Captain America, like than Steve Rogers. Like Red Guardian was able to just like snap Winter Soldier out of his like programming. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Steve Rogers couldn't do this, but fucking Red Guardian can? Like, get fucked.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even have a good joke.
I have one also. I thought it's eventually revealed their, what is it, Bishop? What was it? The Rook. That was what it was. The Rook was Obadiah Stane, who in the live action is played by crap. I can't think of his name right now. He was in The Big Lebowski. Boy, this is embarrassing. That's like one of my favorite movies. Anyway, he has an iconic drink that he drinks in that show, in that movie, The Big Lebowski. And Jeff Bridges, that's his name. I knew it would come to me.
Yes. Jeff
Bridges plays Obadiah Stane in both in the MCU. He didn't voice him in this episode, but anyway, he's also Lebowski in The Big Lebowski. He drinks a White Russian, and I was just like, is this all just an elaborate joke of like 2 White Russians? Like, I was just like, what is this? This is so weird.
That's funny. Anything else for episode 3?
No,
I'm good.
Well, if episode 4 is not y'all's favorite episode of this season, then I don't know what to tell you. It's What If Howard the Duck Got Hitched. Now, this is like the sequel to the first season's What If Thor Were an Only Child. Okay, it features Howard and Darcy after all that happened. They get hitched and had an egg. Now everyone in the galaxy wants it. What's a duck to do? Why the fuck? Why? And when you eventually know why. You eventually know why before the end of this season. Why this one episode exists. And it's like, I have my beef with that too.
Oh, yeah.
I actually have such beef with that. Like, but damn.
Yeah.
The only thing I liked in this episode was the song they sang to the egg. That's the only thing I enjoyed out of the entire episode. I didn't care about the rest of it, honestly. It's so weird. It's so fucking weird.
Oh, yeah. This is the worst episode. It's weird because like we were talking about like the classic what if sort of, it's like, what if a classic what if story would be like, what if the spider that bit Spider-Man bit Aunt May or something like that? Like, or whatever, bit Mary Jane, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then we see how that story plays out. They decided in this one is, what if Darcy fucked a duck? Like, why in God's name did they make this episode? I'm like, this one felt like it was. I was like, I had to look this up. I was like, did Taika Waititi make this episode? Because this feels like Thor: Love and Thunder. It felt like Thor: Love and Thunder for me, and like I even died laughing because I was thinking of you, Michael, when Zeus fucking shows up.
Oh, so help me! Why were you thinking of me?
Because you hated him so much.
Oh yeah, I did.
In Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, I have so much. Like, first off, they just start off right at the bat. She's giving birth to an egg. Did she lay the egg? Like, how does this fucking work? Like, biologically, I need to know how this fucking works. Secondly, I'm sure she carried the egg for 9 months. Why didn't it just hatch immediately? Like, I don't understand how any of this works. Thirdly, this is going to get kind of gross, but I believe ducks have corkscrew penises, so have fun with that, Darcy.
It looks like she did. It's ribbed for her pleasure.
Oh my God. Like,
don't be gross, Tammy.
I don't know. There were some funny jokes. There was some bizarre stuff that I don't think were meant to be funny. That just made me laugh. Like, Fury in this episode kept going, for some reason, Fury out. Like, it was so fucking weird. The Black Order apparently showed up to Jotunheim for like a work retreat. Like, what the fuck? Why is that a thing? I like the joke of something about like couples are going cliff diving off of Oromir. I thought that was funny. The rest is just I know why they did this, and we'll talk about it when we get at the end of the series. And it does make me mad because I'm like, what are you doing, Marvel? Stop it. Right. Again, the last thing I have, sorry, I'm just burning through this, but there was a Raiders of the Lost Ark reference when Birdie is born and like the energy is like zapping everybody. It's very same as like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. Like, there were these references in each episode to like iconic things. I think they did that intentionally.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, at least have some kind of sense.
Yeah.
or one of them's gonna be listening to our podcast. Yeah, we did. Glad you caught on to that, you genius bastards. Jeremy, what's your input to this episode? Like, what do you got?
I honestly, I just put this one on in the background. I just didn't.
You didn't let your kids watch this one, did you?
No.
Okay, I was just wondering because one of my notes was that Zeus mentions about getting back to his orgy, and I was like, "What the fuck? Isn't this a kid show?"
I saw that too. I don't know, because it was funny. Is like my oldest, it was whenever I was watching the first one, and he was like, "Oh, I can watch What If, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can watch What If." And even my youngest was like that. He was like, "Oh yeah, What If?" Because I mean, that they had seen some of the other episodes and they had liked them. Yeah. But they even walked away. I was like, "Oh dang, this just."
That was the same situation that I had. Like, my son watched What If. He thoroughly enjoyed the zombie episode. If I'm pretty sure he watched What If season 2 as well. And so, like, as I'm going through here, I'm like, yeah, we can sit and watch. Now he's gotten to where he buzzes through stuff without me, the little bastard, and doesn't freaking sit down and have quality father time at all. But whatever, I'm not hurt at all by that. But no, now I have to sit there and I have to watch some of these things, even though they're cartoons, like that previous seasons have been okay for kids and be like, I don't want to explain this stuff to you, honestly, right now. Like, this is not like, let's wait about 3 years when you start needing us to learn about the birds and the bees and whatnot like that. Like, then we can talk how this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So I mean, that was just, this one was just, I was the same way. Like I glanced at it every now and then just to watch parts of it, but I was just like, this is stupid, and let's just move on. Like, I was just like, I just need to get through this so I can get through the next episode.
Yeah, I get that Howard the Duck is like a goofy character. Like the movie is equally as silly and more horny, and
Yeah.
but
Done by George Lucas as well.
yeah, and the comic, it's very silly as well. But this was not needed. This did not need to happen. I think they thought this was going to be a real hit and be super funny and whatever, because I don't know, because Deadpool or something. But I just was like, fuck this episode. This is the worst goddamn episode.
Well, I think Howard the Duck has a decent following as well. And again, like we both stated, they needed this episode to do something in 2 other episodes at the end. Like that, but even then, they didn't even need this fucking episode. Honestly, they really didn't need this episode because there's some shit with those other, especially like the second to the last episode. It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, anyway, I don't want to say anything until we get to that episode. But.
All right, I'm pressing on to episode 5.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. What if the emergence destroyed the Earth? In this episode, the Eternals didn't prevent Tiamat from emerging. In the wake of the Earth's destruction, Quentin Beck rules what's left. Riri Williams, though, has had enough. This is like one of my 2 favorite episodes of the entire season. I really enjoyed this one. I really like this. I like the focus on Riri on this one. I like the story that went along with it. I just thought this was a fun episode, is all it boiled down to. Brought Quentin Beck back. I don't think they brought, was it Jake Gyllenhaal to come to reprise the role?
Yeah, that was not Jake doing the voice.
That's probably good on their part as far as money goes. And I like Riri getting some play time and her being a main character in this. So in the story, I just was like, okay, cool. So, the Eternals didn't stop it. Tiamat erupts, and this is what happens. Okay, cool. I thought it was a cool one-off story. Done. I had fun with it.
Yeah, I concur. Like, this was my favorite episode of the entire season. This is the best episode of because this one does the one little change, which is the Eternals weren't able to stop Tiamat from the egg hatching. Essentially, the Earth is a big old egg, and they weren't able to stop it from hatching. And my thing, though, the one knock against it is like, how the fuck did anyone survive? They would all be dead. The Earth's atmosphere would be gone.
Right.
But whatever, there's magic and shit in that world, so we'll suspend disbelief for a second. And yeah, I don't, like last week, Michael, we talked about, I'm not like really excited about Riri's show Ironheart, but she was okay in this. Like, I didn't hate her. I didn't love her. I will say this. I think they should just rip off that design for her suit. I think it looked way cooler than any of their other designs, both in comic and live action. I like the way they did her braids and like how the vision, like whatever mask, like went in between braids and stuff. I don't know. It was just cool. And yeah, I love bringing Quentin Beck back. I thought that was a cool, like they finally used a Spider-Man villain, like someone from a Spider-Man movie. I thought that was neat. Yeah, and it was just a really cool story.
Before we press on to Jeremy, just real quick, for those of you who don't know who Quentin Beck is, he is Mysterio in the Spider-Man, was it Far From Home? Yeah, Far From Home movie.
Yeah, I agree. Like I enjoyed this one as well. I think it was one of those, like, it was hard after watching the last one to be geared up to watch another one. So, but it was Yeah, I enjoyed this one more. I liked seeing Riri in there. I thought like her building all that stuff was in 7.5 minutes. I thought that was pretty cool to watch.
That was not 7.5 minutes. I'm just saying.
No, it was not. That was a lot faster. But yeah, I enjoyed it as well, and I thought it was cool. And I agree as far as like the changing just the small thing of, and then actually seeing what that changes. And then also at this one is where you kind of start getting the tie-in towards the ending of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And that I enjoyed. Like, I mean, just like kind of what we had talked about on the previous seasons, on the first one, like they would give small little hints there that, but it wasn't like everything had to tie in or whatever. So I enjoyed that part of it too. Just kind of seeing where he's starting to really push the boundary on what he was supposed to watch and everything.
Yeah.
So for the listeners out there who haven't seen this, what Jeremy's referring to is in the story, Uatu, the Watcher, is watching, and he, throughout the story, he says the same thing over and over again, is that Riri is going to fail, essentially, at the end of this. Riri is going to fail. She always fails. She never makes it out. She always fails. And he reiterates that time and time again throughout the story. And as you're watching Riri fail, you see Uatu change and decide, what if, basically, this time, I intervened, which he's not supposed to do. And he tells Riri to get up and fight. He doesn't show himself. He's just the voice in the wind telling her, being the inspiration, get up and fight. And that's what changes it. And she winds up saving the day afterwards. And that's eventually what becomes the end story arc for this season of What If, where the Watchers who appointed Uatu disagree with his intervening.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. The other thing that this did, and honestly, all the what ifs that involved Vision, but like they really make Vision out to be more of a threat than he is in the actual MCU. If you'll remember, like the Ultron one where Ultron takes over, like kills the entire universe. Like I know it's Ultron in Vision's body, but like he just one shots fucking Thanos, cuts him in half. And like in this one, we see White Vision take on 3 different warriors, and he just wipes the floor with them. And I was like, they really make Vision into like a huge threat, and I would like to see that in the movies as well.
I think they came close to it in WandaVision, but they also had him like essentially facing off against himself.
Yeah.
And so like that kind of evened the playing field. And of course they held him back in Civil War, but you could see like him at ease, like just doing this or that or whatever else the case. Like he cannonballs into Ant-Man. Like Ant-Man's sitting there just causing all this mayhem and destruction. He just kind of goes cannonballs into him. And then he's knocked over. He cuts down that one tower right before Bucky and Cap can, or not, but yeah, Bucky and Cap can get to the plane. Like, it was never to the effect that what it was in What If. And I agree with you. Like, I would love to see like just a hallway scene of like Vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just for instance,
Yeah. It reminded me of the Matrix when Neo like finally becomes the one and he's fighting like the agents, and he's just like easily just like deflecting their attacks and stuff.
Yes,
it gave me that vibes. And anyway, I was just like, yeah, can we not see Vision do that in the movies as well?
Right. I hope so. As we get into Secret Wars, they need to do something with old White Vision. All right, it's episode 6.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
Cool. What if 1970s? Or no, apologize. What if 1872? Shortest title ever, and I screwed it up. Look at me. Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop roam the Wild West in search for Shang-Chi's sister and to face off against the Hood. I thought this was really cool. I enjoyed this episode a lot as well. I don't know what it is. Here lately, I have like been on a Western kick. I don't know what it is, but I like this one. I really did like this one a lot. I like the beginning fight scene, which threw me off with John Walker. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
That character model didn't look anything like whatever his name is. I can't think the actor's name. He's the son of Kurt Russell. Wyatt Russell. That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't look anything like Wyatt Russell. And then when they were like, whatever, John Walker. And I was like, oh, shit, that's U.S. Agent?
Yeah.
That doesn't look anything like U.S. Agent.
But I love how they how Shang-Chi and the choreography they did for this animated show,
Mm-hmm.
where he's like kicking ass. And as he's kicking ass, he's like feeding Kate Bishop like guns.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just grabbing and like, da, 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 da. And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that opening episode. I love that. We get an Iron Fist in this as well, at least the becomings of an Iron Fist, which was really cool. We see the hood, and it's almost I wonder how much of this they're gonna kind of venture into the Ironheart series with the hood.
Yeah.
Because it almost gives me like Lord of the Ring vibes, which I don't know anything about the hood. So where like it seemed like the hood possessed, spoiler alert, Shang-Chi's sister, like kind of influenced her to be bad.
Yeah.
And once the cape was removed, she was like, thank you, essentially.
I see what you're saying. You're talking about like the One Ring corrupting people. Yeah, I think you're right. I got that same vibe as well.
Which brings back to like what you were talking about how all these have like ties to movies and stuff like that. So I kind of wonder, is that what we're going to get in the Ironheart series? Is the hood, is the cape going to kind of, really mess with people's minds? And that's how it's going to form the enemy? Like, give us a sympathetic one anyways?
Yeah.
Because Marvel has a tendency of doing that. I also like how they brought the dude from Ant-Man and the Wasp back. I can't remember that guy's name.
His character name is Sonny Birch, but his name his name is Walt motherfucking Goggins. Now, get it right. I fucking love Walt Goggins. He's like one of my favorite actors. He plays
pretty cool. I do like him.
Yeah, he plays a great villain. He's in one of my favorite shows, Justified. He's a villain in that show, like a recurring villain in that show.
Okay.
And he's fucking great in that show. Anyway.
Nice. But yeah, there was just a lot that I actually liked in this episode. And so it was fun to watch for me. There was no like, one thing changed or anything like that, but this was one of the more enjoyable ones of that. I really, I like the Tony Stark shout out as well for the train. I thought it was a little weird and off, but I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah. The reason why I reacted the way I reacted when you said you liked this one is I too was pleasantly whelmed, and usually you and I don't agree on anything. So it's just weird that we both agreed on these two episodes, because I like this. I like Westerns. I thought this was a cool twist on a Western. I hated I wrote down, oh, hardy har har, 10 rings. You get it, Carl? 10 rings. Coral, do you get it? 10 rings. I just hated that joke with the fucking Shang-Chi stuff. But other than that, yeah, this was a really good episode. You kind of hit all the beats for me. I loved that we got a slight nod to a different Iron Fist. I thought that was cool. And there was at the start when Uatu's doing his thing, he's talking about like different worlds, and we get like a Throg and a Croaky cameo.
Yeah.
But I like when he says something about like this one's less of a what if than more, or more of a what the hell than less of a what if or something. I thought that was kind of funny. But other than that, yeah, I agree with you. I think this was really good.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I enjoyed this one as well. I thought it was a little funny at times, like trying to do Shang-Chi, trying to do like a Western accent and stuff like that. But overall, I think it was cool. I mean, because seeing him still fight and things like that, and with the hood, and obviously seeing that whole twist of it being his sister, like that was, it still had the ties to the family bonding of that of him, of Shang-Chi and everything. So like and that's part of his culture and things like that. So I really liked that it still had that that twist in there and that bond in there. So it was really, it was a good, fun episode. It wasn't, like you said, Michael, it wasn't necessarily like one small thing changing. It was just, what if it was in this time period instead, kind of thing. So, which was still cool.
It was an odd pair up, but I think it worked really, like the way they did it worked really well. So I was really glad to see that, especially like, I wish they would have done more things with like the cast of characters we should be seeing for the next 5 to however many years. Like seeing Kate Bishop, seeing, Shang-Chi, seeing Sam Wilson Cap. Like, I feel like we should have seen more of those type characters throughout this to kind of like push, like, these are going to be your Avengers, motherfuckers.
Mhm.
Like, love them now. Kind of stuff.
Would have been cool to see one with like Kamala Khan.
Yes.
Kamala Khan. I mean, yeah, I agree with you.
I also want to mention, Jeremy, you said something about Shang-Chi's Western voice. I agree with you. That was weird. It was a little off-putting. I was like, well, I don't know. And then I was mad at myself because I should have guessed that was the sister, and I so did not. Like, I was
I saw that coming from what? That was such an easy guess.
Bro, I was so into the story that I wasn't even trying. Like, I was just there for the ride. I love that. I love that when a movie or TV show will put me so into it that I'm like, I'm not even trying to guess what's going on. I'm just enjoying it. Like, that's my happy place right there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like when you're sucked in and like nothing pulls you out. But Kate at the end, when she shoots his sister, I was like they were basically like they made up or whatever, and Kate just shoots her, and I'm like, Jesus, Kate, read the fucking room, man.
I felt so bad for Kate. I was like, I mean, she just came out of a trance. She's still hungover from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it, but I agree. Like, Kate Bishop and Shang-Chi really did play well together in this. I thought it was a nice little team up.
Yeah. Yeah. Marvel team up. That's what they should do. Episode 7. Oh, this is where it all comes crashing down for me, y'all. I'm just letting you know. Now, episode 7. What if the Watcher disappeared? The other Watchers have had enough of Uatu's meddling. They plan to stop it. My first question is, what did I miss?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's something critical that I missed. Why does Captain Carter have Kang's ship? When did this team form?
Yeah.
And like, Birdie is all of a sudden a grown adult, which, by the way, Birdie is Howard the Duck and Darcy's child that hatched from that egg. So there you go. That's why we had to have that episode, because we have to explain the origin of Birdie now. Storm Thor was cool, though.
Yeah.
I will stand by Storm Thor. I love that. I love that idea. I love that concept. That was cool. I enjoyed that.
I liked all of them except for Birdie, because Birdie can get the fuck, like...
In bird culture, this is considered a dick move.
Like, I get the fuck out of here with Birdie. Like, her design is bad.
Is she an actual character?
No, she is like Kahori. Kahori in last year was a completely new character that they made up for the show. Birdie is a completely new character that they made up for the show. And I'm like, get fucked. I don't care about Birdie. I do not care about Howard the Duck and Darcy's fucking... First off, I don't even like Darcy.
Oh,
I don't like Kat Dennings. I don't like Darcy. I don't find her funny. I don't find her humorous. Like, she's annoying and obnoxious. And then now she has a child that's like the most important being of that universe. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. And it gets worse. Why, like, they even brought that character in. And I'll explain that when we're done talking about these episodes. But yeah, I'm with you. My first note is, whoa, Captain Carter showed up in Kang's chair. What the hell did they have planned,
right,
for like Kang Dynasty that we just did not get to see?
Right? There's a big, like, meanwhile, like,
Yeah.
that we're missing.
Yeah, we missed it's like we skipped an entire season or something.
Yes. Like there's got to be a reason why she has Kang's ship. Why are we not seeing that? I feel like they should have gone. Like, I understand, like, the pivot. I understand, whatever. I understand that, you know, they're going the way of Doom, Robert Downey Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not really wanting to look back right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like for What If, we should have got something there to be like, hey, Kang is a character. He's a Marvel character. And we do Marvel shit.
Yeah.
And this is Kang's ship. And you know this. So here's a little ditty of how this happened.
About Jack and Diane. No, like, I agree. Like, it's like Jonathan Majors did the bad thing, not Kang the Conqueror. You can have Kang the Conqueror. Like, Jonathan Majors is canceled, not Kang. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Kang did his own things that y'all don't care about and actually enjoy and want to watch, okay?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I'm with you. It was weird. I mean, it wasn't weird. It was more of like, I guess I got caught up in the like fan service of like, oh, it's Kang's chair kind of thing for that moment. And then immediately was lost when Birdie fucking showed up. Cause I was just like, what is that? What is that design? What is that? She's like 80s metal, like death metal
It's
band
like,
or something.
Oh crap. It's like she's the fuzzy dude off off of Spaceballs.
Did you mean for all those words to come out together, or did they just fall out randomly?
It is Spaceballs, right? Like the guy, like he's got the little white like mark over his eye.
John Candy?
You talking about Barf?
Is it?
Yeah, it's John Candy, Michael. Yes, and his character's name is Barf.
I've never watched Spaceballs.
Yeah.
What?
Well, if you look at her, like she's got the
not you, him.
Huh?
You've never seen Spaceballs?
Oh, him. Oh,
No, it's 80s.
Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, his character's name is Barf, and he's played by John Candy.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's just like she's a female version of him almost.
I mean, it's kind of the same. Well, he was a dog, like humanoid dog, so she's like a duck human hybrid. But like, I don't even like. She didn't really have duck features. She just had like tattoos that turned into wings.
Yeah,
and the like, I don't know. She just, I hated her design. I really did.
Look, here's what they did. Here's all that they did. They made a love child of Star-Lord while he still had powers and Howard the Duck. That's all they did. The 80s and everything. That's all they did.
Yeah, but yeah, the design did not look like, at least with Kahori, like her design looks cool, especially when she's like using her power and she has like all the glowy parts on her and stuff. Like that looks cool. Birdie looks dumb as fuck. Her name is dumb as fuck. Birdie. Like
couldn't come up with anything better.
Yeah, it was at the point that it just annoyed the absolute fuck out of me. Like I could not stop focusing on Birdie. And she's voiced by she's gonna be in the Fantastic Four series. So I'm very concerned. I'm like, oh,
what?
Fuck. Is Birdie going to be in Fantastic Four?
What are you talking about? I've not heard this. What do you mean she's going to be in the Fantastic Four series?
The actress that plays Birdie is Natasha Lyonne.
Okay.
She is slated to be a character in Fantastic Four that is unnamed right now.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, we were talking about this a while back. I said maybe she's going to be what's Norrin Rad's wife's name that's going to be Silver Surfer?
Shia LaBeouf.
I was going to say Phi Lavelle, but that's not it.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe she's going to be like Shia LaBeouf's mom or something like that. A lot of people speculated she was going to be Ben Grimm's girlfriend, which she still may, but I seriously doubt it would be Birdie. If it is, I will fucking riot in the streets.
I think what made me the maddest about Birdie is like she does have these weird laser eyes or whatever the case is. Like she's got some kind of cosmic power. Outside of that, she grows wings when she wants to fly, and she can fly, and she's really smart and tech heavy. And the whole time I'm thinking, why didn't you focus more on Riri?
Yeah.
Why didn't you give people another look at Riri here and build her up some more? Like, help people want to see this character in live action, especially since she's coming out this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that, hold on to that point when I talk about at the end of all this.
Yeah, because like I don't know. I think I checked out halfway through the last episode. I was just like, fuck this, I'm done. Like I'm so done.
Yeah.
Over with on this.
I said I was whelmed for this. I found myself kind of like being sucked into the episode, but I think it was also just because it was late and I just wanted to get this shit done for finish watching it. The other thing that irritates me is at the start of the episode, we get that weird Hydra monster that has been in like the last 2 seasons with Peggy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can it be Shimmagorath? Why can't we get fucking Shimmagorath? Why the fuck? Every squid monster we see in the MCU and What If, it's always something else, and it's not Shimmagorath. I'm like, why the fuck can't it just be Shimmagorath?
Well, I'm like, why the fuck are they even there? Is it because of the tentacle monster? Like, that's the whole reason?
Yeah.
They're just following this guy around? They're like, no, dickhead, you can't go here.
Yeah.
No, okay, seat taken. Like, you just...
Yes.
Can't sit here.
Yes.
Like, come on. Poor tentacle guy. He just wants to conquer a world. Like,
He
there's
just wants to
plenty of
cuddle.
them out there.
That's all he wants to do. He just wants to cuddle.
Oh man. Well, the biggest breakdown in this episode is that this group right here of Peggy Carter, Captain Carter, Kahori, Birdie, and Thor, however you want to do it, whatever it is. They realize that the Watcher is in trouble, and so they go to try and like get on his dimension. They wind up going to search out the Ultron that, like we were talking about earlier, who gotten all the stones, but didn't venture out of his universe and just sat there alone for eons. And they went to go get his help to get into the next dimension. So, and you have to, of course, go to the next episode to figure out what happened. But Jeremy, what was your thoughts on this?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I was pleasantly whelmed with it. I wasn't crazy about Birdie either. I was like, what? First off, it didn't really explain who she was, but then I was like, oh, Birdie, because they name dropped that on the other Howard the Duck episode, and I was like,
she grew up quick, didn't she?
Yeah, real quick.
She also had blue hair. When she was born, her hair was blue and styled completely different, which I was like, I guess they did that episode and then later on changed her design. Because, anyway, I'm sorry, Jeremy. Continue.
Oh, no.
I mean, when I was born, I had hair, and look at me now.
I know, but it just, real life, my hair changed color when I was a kid, but I'm just saying for the sake of the movie and television show, you usually have them stay the same so people understand that's the child from previous whatever.
Jeremy, please continue.
I mean, I really didn't have a whole lot to put towards it. So like I said, I enjoyed it, and it was, I liked the tie-in with Ultron there. I thought that was seeing how different he was, and does that go into the next episode? I guess kind of, but I mean, yeah, just seeing his evolution and different variations of him too. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, overall, I was, like I said, pleasantly whelmed with it.
Nice. I was gonna say something. Now I can't remember what it was. Damn. All right, episode 8.
Yeah.
Left with the rest of that hair.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. What it was that we were talking about Kahori earlier. Kahori actually finally made it into comics late last year, so it took almost a year.
Does that mean Birdie's coming to the comics?
It may.
God.
Give it a year.
Anyway,
later this year. Birdie.
no.
Episode
Flying
8.
into your hearts.
Flying right into the
What
garbage
if-
can. Sorry.
What if the end of the beginning? I don't know what else. I don't know.
If it wasn't evident that they're just phoning it in at this point, because like the title of this episode was just like, what? You couldn't think
Yeah.
of anything better?
Yeah. We're just gonna tell you what Uatu is gonna tell the other ones. What if? Yeah, I know there's this giant big battle scene between the multiverse crew right here and featuring Uatu against these other 3 watchers, and I didn't care about the big baby headed people fighting. I really didn't.
Yeah, and did he not have a name before then? In this whole series?
Yeah, I think they called him Uatu in the other one. I'd have to rewatch him. He's called Uatu. Well, technically, okay, so Marvel has fucked up their entire multiverse, but like the watchers, there's supposed to be one watcher per per Earth. So like Uatu is the one who watches the 616 universe.
Okay.
And other watchers watch other universes. So like the Ultimate Universe, it's a different watcher with a different name that watches the 616 universe. It's not just like Uatu watches this one multiverse thing.
Okay.
He's watching multiple universes is what I'm saying. Whereas in the comics, he just watches one universe, and he watches and documents special events that happen solely on that one universe.
Oh, okay. So he would just watch his 616.
Yeah. And
The movies or the comic?
in the comics, that's what he's supposed to do. See, this is why I don't like that they named the movie 616. It's supposed to be the comic one. The Earth, technically, I think in one of the episodes, or not one of the episodes, in one of the issues that Uatu gets in trouble for interfering, there is a reference to the MCU when it was designated Earth 199999 or whatever. Because there's like a panel or whatever. Because he's at like, I don't know what to call it. It's like the Citadel of Watchers or whatever. And there's like a panel that has like a shot of like where the Avengers from the first Avengers movie, where they're all like in a circle, like posing for a picture no one took.
That picture was taken. Hero pose.
So he, at the start, he is narrating. He's like, if I am certain about one thing, it is that your conclusion will not disappoint. And I wrote down, narrator, it did. It did disappoint.
Yeah.
And this one too gave me like Frieza Goku kind of feels.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna shit on this. Like, I didn't really like the second to the last episode, and then this one I didn't really like. I will say this to say something nice. I thought the fight scene was really well animated and cool, and I literally wrote a note down. Is like, I do love the way they use the like Kirby crackles. I love like whenever there's like energy blasts and stuff, they do the iconic Kirby crackles from the comic. And the way they do it in this show, it just looks fucking beautiful. I love it. It's the one thing that one positive thing that I can say that I really just loved about this episode. I thought for a minute there, the three Watchers, as they're like spinning around, they were going to turn into like the Living Tribunal, because in the comics, the Living Tribunal is this other like entity that judges everything on like in the galaxy or whatever, and it's like it's a single-bodied person with a floating three-faced head, and it's supposed to be like judge, jury, and executioner kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought that's what they were doing there. They didn't, so that let me down. Jeremy, you'll be happy to know the Eminence, the main sort of bad Watcher, was voiced by Jason Isaacs. And if you don't know who Jason Isaac is, he is Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's cool.
I don't think you really cared. You didn't really sell that, Jeremy.
No, I mean, like that. I'm sorry. I was trying to just think of his voice, and like, I mean, obviously they changed his voice a little bit there to be Eminence, but I mean, he plays a he does a good job playing a bad guy. So
yeah, he's always usually a villain in most of his stories.
Yeah.
We get a few name drops. We get Reed Richards' name drop. We get Madison with two N's and a Y, and it's not where you think. I was like, really, guys? I appreciate that joke. That did actually get a laugh out of me, but I was just like, really? And that's all I really have to say about this, except for the very end, which is where they're showing us, like, when he's doing the opening intro to What If, but for the end of the series.
Right. Yeah. What if these other things,
these other more interesting and better things
we're gonna ball tickle you with?
They showed Six-Armed Spider-Man,
Yep,
Ghost Ronin, which was like the samurai Ghost Rider,
I didn't know that.
Riri Punisher.
Oh, that's cool.
Gamora, like a bride. I don't know what. She was just like in a wedding dress. They gave us Blade, Moon Knight. Motherfuckers, we got fucking Mahershala Ali Blade in What If before the fucking movie came out. Like, what the actual fuck?
We got they did that just to contradict Deadpool's, like, Wesley Snipes Blade.
I don't know. No, I doubt it. I think Blade was supposed to come out by now. Well, actually, it was supposed to come out by now.
Yeah.
And this animation stuff has to be done like way ahead of time. So they were like, oh, we'll put this in here and Blade will be out by then. But
I was going to say, little do they know.
We got Thanos Weapon X.
Yeah.
We got Kingo Iron Man. We got
I didn't see that.
Yeah, we got Miss Marvel Wasp. We got Doctor Strange Maestro.
Oh, wow.
We got Scarlet the Witch Howard the Duck, which was in last season in one of those things. We got some kind of dragon Hawkeye. I don't know what it was. Hawkeye is like a dragon. It was fucking weird. We got Silver Surfer Jubilee, who, in my opinion, should be on rollerblades. I'm just saying, she's like a 90s kid. She should not be on a silver surfboard. She should be on silver rollerblades. It would have been way cooler.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was like a Skrull Captain America.
Saw that.
There was Howard Stark and Cersei just like dancing with each other, which I was like, okay, I'm glad y'all didn't do that one because I don't care about that one. There was just Deadpool with a shitload of guns.
I mean, Deadpool.
And then this is where it gets real weird. There was Hela, the goddess of life, who the only reason I know this is apparently What If did a immersive like video game story for the Apple Vision Pro, the little like VR headset. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a character from that like game.
Oh.
They did a Star-Lord Shang-Chi. They did
That's weird.
a Cowboy Loki, which we also saw in the last season or the previous season, season 2. They did Infinity Witch, who is also a character from that Apple Vision Pro video game thing. And then they did Captain Marvel Nova, like a Nova Corps member that is Captain Marvel, who is also a character from that Apple Vision Pro like video game. And that's all of them that you see.
Okay.
Save the best for last.
I knew you were going to say that. What's so funny though is they flashed those last like 4 or 5 like so fast. I had to pause so many fucking times to see what I was even fucking looking at. All right, so now I'm going to get into this. Like, it has come out that the guy that made What If, I should have wrote his name down, but anyway, they were going to put in like one of the ideas he had was what if Shang-Chi and Iron Fist like met and fought. That was one of the ideas he threw out.
Freaking tastic.
And they were like, no, you can't do that because we may use that later. And
please do.
And I'm like, why? Like I pointed out, my brother in Christ, why we got Mahershala Ali Blade before we got Blade in his actual solo movie. What do you fucking mean we can't show character? Like, you showed us Jubilee as a fucking Silver Surfer, which is a cool ass idea. Why the fuck can't we see that? You're never gonna use Jubilee as a Silver Surfer in the fucking movies. Right. Why in the fuck? Like I'm so like, this is why I'm whelmed by the whole series. The Western episode and the Riri episode are the only things that saved this from being underly whelmed for me.
Yes.
I am so pissed off at what they did for this final season. It felt like they were just phoning it in, and Marvel's, I don't know, shooting themselves in the foot. They're pulling a Sony or a WB or something. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. No. I agree completely. I mean, I totally think by the end of this, they were like, fuck, it's the last one. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was the consensus of the group. Jeremy, we didn't get to hear what your
I'm sorry.
Your idea of the finale. So here you can follow up Richard on his shit show.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I mean, you're good. I was fine, and I like I said, I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed the fighting part of it. I thought it was, like I said, the Goku, Frieza kind of like, just, this isn't even my final form kind of thing. It just kind of kept going or whatever. So
yeah,
but yeah, it had a anticlimactic kind of ending, and just it was just kind of weird how it all finally came to an end, and with Stephen Strange's universe where he's just all part of it. I was like, I don't know, that's kind of weird too. But overall, I'm disappointed in this season and in the way it went, as far as like, because like I said, I was really enjoying, like, I enjoyed the first season. I thought it could be really fun, and it had the potential to. It just, yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if they had a change in personnel or what happened there, but it fell off quick, and I was like, this just sucks.
yeah, I agree. Well, y'all got anything else for this?
No, I do not.
Yeah, no, that's all I had.
Do y'all recommend anybody watch the season of What If?
No, not really. I mean, I guess you can if you want to. I mean, just to watch it, have some in the background. But
phone clothes, doing dishes.
I really don't think it. I mean, even from the second season, it's not like it necessarily finished anything off or kept going from that necessarily. So, other than still having Peggy Carter in there doing her multiverse stuff or whatever, but yeah, I think it's an okay show, third season, but I would just say Watch the first two, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. I think I remember liking season 2. Like there was a few ones that I did not care, but for the most part, I thought season 2 was pretty fun. This one I just did not have a fun time, and I think it's mostly due to Birdie. I have to put that all on her. I just do not like that character. I thought that was a dumb original character. And yeah, I think if anything, I'd recommend watching the Riri one because I do think that was the best episode. I thought that was a really cool and well written episode. The Shang-Chi one, you could watch it or take it or leave it. I liked it, but I don't think it's like an absolute like must watch. And then the season as a whole, no, it's a skip for me unless you just are a completionist and you've seen the other 2 seasons and you want to finish this one.
Yeah, I have to agree with what Richard said. That's my viewpoint as well. Don't worry about watching this. Just check out the Riri episode and the Western. Hey, I think you'll have a good time. I think you'll be fun with that. So cool. Well, Jeremy, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Twitch under the handle Night Fury GTO. That's Night with a K. And you can find me here. And since the last episode I recorded, I've on chapter 15. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm just
Shame.
starting to what? Why shame? I made progress.
Shame.
I was on like what, 13, 12
Shame.
or 13? The last one.
I expect you to be done.
I've been gone for the last month.
Shame.
my expectations are met. I want to also give a update. My son has been playing.
Is on chapter 15.
He's on chapter 11 last time I heard. So that was earlier today.
Shame, Jeremy.
Yeah. Well, that one. That
He
one's
was
on
so
my-
excited. I was like, hey, you're catching up to Mr. Jeremy.
Yeah. That one's on my PC, and I don't take my PC traveling with me.
Oh, you
So-
should just pack it up.
Yeah.
You have a little monitor and keyboard and mouse. You can play wherever you go. You should get you a Steam Deck and just play that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Richard, where can they find you at?
If you want to contact me directly, I have an X, the platform formerly known as Twitter and Instagram, a Blue Skies, and a Threads. My handle is Night Curry, night like day and night, and Curry with a K. If you want to contact us directly, we have a Gmail. Our Gmail is comicallycomicspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, possibly TikTok, we'll see. I don't think so anymore. But anyway, and Instagram, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics Podcast. And if you want to check us out on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics with an X.
I saw where James Gunn got a Blue Sky too.
Yes, everyone. For our listeners, you probably know this already. I don't really social media. I'm just getting these platforms and making sure I have the handle Night Curry. So if I actually ever do anything with them, I have it available.
You can find me on Instagram, eBay, and Shortbox at 22_comics. You can also find me on YouTube at 22 comics. Thank y'all so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did making it. With all being said, say goodbye, Jeremy. I can say that this week.
Bye, Jeremy.
Goodbye, Jeremy. Goodbye.
I am Uatu. I see all of these vast new realities. Open your eyes, dare to face the unknown, and ponder the question, what if?